of wish I did open my laptop when I was over there in Tahoe just to see what inspiration did I get from there. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Suga Crave Show. I am back from vacation. I'm back in black. I always think when I was like, every time I say I'm back, I always think Back in Black by AC/DC. Fucking great song. I'm back from vacation, guys, and I am depressed. It was such a great break. Great vacation. Just really enjoyed it. It was such a relaxing time. I went to South Lake Tahoe with my family, and it was great in the sense of not having to worry about so many things going on when it comes to like work wise, just even in your little bubble where from where you're from, like work and just like where you live, your neighbors and all that shit. It's like, especially if you go to South Lake Tahoe, just because it's just so green out there. You got the lake, so you got that breeze. It was so fucking cold over there, at least compared to LA. It was like 49 in the morning, 49 degrees. I was like, holy shit. I went out a run over there, and I just like, my lungs started burning just because of that dry, cold air. And one thing I noticed was that I couldn't smell the woods so much because of the dryness. Like I was, like my nose, my nose wasn't bleeding, but like, I don't know, but like when I blow my nose, there was a little bit of blood from, I don't know, like dry boogers or something. I don't know. I'm sorry if you guys are eating breakfast or whatever, dinner when you listen to this, but yeah, it was nice. It just had a good, relaxing feeling, and I got to enjoy a lot of like outdoorsy stuff, when I was trying to figure out, okay, what do I really want to accomplish when I get out there? I still wanted to stay with my routine, writing my journal, meditating, and then, working out, and reading. Those are like my main 4 things that I do every single day. And so I was like, okay, this is a test. If I go out there on vacation, family vacation, where there's tons of distraction, how am I gonna, what am I gonna do with those tasks? Am I gonna push them off? Am I gonna just be like, hey, I'm on vacation, no need to worry about it? But I made a great effort to wake up early in the morning and take care of all of that, so I didn't have to worry about it at the end of the day. It was just like, oh fuck, I need to get this done. And it was nice because it just felt like, all right, I have the rest of the day. I'm pretty much set. No need to worry about certain things. And I just really got to be able to enjoy my family and myself being away of other distractions. So I just think it's just a healthy recharge for your mental. I think just because as musicians and producers or any artists, you deal with, you put so much emotion behind your art where it overpowers you sometimes, and you need that little break, sometimes longer. Some people just go for days, weeks, months, years, and then eventually come back because they have that recharge or inspiration. And it was weird because being back from vacation, I almost have the opposite feeling. I have the feeling of like, I don't know, it's just almost a little, maybe a little bit of depression because it was just so good. It was nice really being able to see my family and talking to them and enjoying, myself with my family and Kareen and my dog Babe, are just being able to like relax and not really worry about anything, not worry about like shooting a podcast or doing any music stuff. And which I did. I brought all my stuff because I was planning on doing it. I was like, hey, let me just shoot a couple episodes. And yeah, I just didn't make the effort to do it just because, I don't know, I had a different mindset for it. I was just like, you know what, let me rethink it. Let me just actually really enjoy the time rather than try to cram so many things and then I just like get overwhelmed. And then now it's ruining the vacation where the purpose was really just to hang out with the family, really, bond and enjoy the time being with them. And yeah, I think it was just a way better experience, as hence you could see, coming back from it. I'm just like, it's brought me back. I'm still keeping my routine, but after I'm done with my routine, I just don't have that energy back into it just because I feel like I'm in a little funk, which I think this is a great conversation to have. This is normal to have a funk after such a great experience. Like, you see it with artists that come out with like a really good album and then they just like, they crash because it's just like that, the energy, the emotion that they put behind that album, it just took them out, and now it's hard for them to recover. And I think it's just being attached to something that or attached to an experience that you've had and learning how to let it go. And sometimes you have a hard time letting go. And I think it was great. I'm thankful that I am experiencing this right now because I'm learning from it. Talking with you guys about it, just like, oh shit, yeah, that's kind of what I'm experiencing, is trying to learn how to let go of something and move on or get inspired by it to do more of those activities and stuff like that. So I'm just blessed with this this vacation, and it's how many times I'm blessed just have a family that we all kind of get along. And so you hear stories about other families that just, they can't stand each other. They can't, be around with one another for more than 10 seconds. And you're just like, man, I'm just so blessed that I can have one-on-one conversations with each family member, or everybody to be together and just enjoy each other's time. And yeah, it was just such amazing trip. And South Lake Tahoe is just incredible. It was so cool that weekend. They had an Octoberfest, and it's not one of the best Octoberfests, at least in South Lake Tahoe. I remember going to Tahoe, but we stayed like in the north end of it, and they had a Octoberfest near Truckee, and it was, to me, I thought it was that place. That's why I was like, oh man, this looks kind of familiar. I think this is where they had Octoberfest the last time. And I showed up. I was like, yeah, this is not it, because it was just a different experience. I don't know, just because I went with my college friends, but it was funny just because they had a band, a polka band, and they had a PA and all that set up. And as you guys know, I work in the audio world, especially live production, and seeing that when they had technical difficulties, I was just like, oh yeah, the power fucking cut out, because they were doing a contest of like, I don't know, it was like holding the I don't know what you call it, not stouts, but like those big ass beer jugs, and they were taking a long time to set up. And I was like, the first thing I noticed was like, there's no music going on. They were just like taking their time, and I was just like, nah. If they were like a band, they would just like do intermediate performance just to kill time and all that for people to get set up. And I think actually my mom pointed out, and I was just like, oh yeah, because I just saw people scrambling and trying to figure out, okay, what's going on, and I see somebody in the backstage, which it looked like, where the power line was at, or the power source that they had. I think they might have a generator, or they were hooked up on that like from an extension cord from the house. And I was just like you want to go. I was like, shouldn't I be the asshole that just goes there like, hey guys, see you guys have some issues over here? Like, nah. I think that's just, I don't want to be that guy. If you fuck up, it's all you. I'm not on the job. That's not my job. So, but it was interesting what they were using, what kind of mics, what kind of pieces of gear. I'm always curious of like other like audio engineers or like musicians like start like nitpicking when they see like, oh, like a random band, like a pop-up band from like I don't know, like you go to Octoberfest or any kind of festival and there's just like a local band that using local equipment and gear, keyboards. I always tend to have like a wandering eye and just like look and see how they do their process and stuff. There was one time I went to Bumper Shoot and I was seeing what kind of board they had. They had a Digico, I want to say not SD7 or SD6, and I was just like peeking over, looking, and it sounded okay, but it just I kind of hate that because I slightly ruined it with my sisters because I was like, man, this fucking sucks. It sounds like shit. Like, and they don't know. They don't care. They just like they're there for the experience. And sometimes I feel that I can be a sour grape at those moments, and I hate that because it's just like it sucks because you can't live the moment. You can't just enjoy the performance. You just have to be like nitpicking and be like, oh, they should have done this process. And it's like, who fucking cares? Then no one cares. No, if everybody was caring, then it's like, okay, this is pretty fucking bad. But most people just don't understand that, and they don't really care. So that was going on up there in my mindset. But I was trying to like work with myself and just like, all right, cool it. You're enjoying time with family. Don't make a big deal about it. And so it was great. It was just like little stuff on vacations, at least for me. And just the one thing which I love the most about it was, I think it was our last night, but actually many nights I got, we're making carne asada, and like I got the chance to barbecue, and I haven't barbecued in like years. It sounds crazy. We just don't have a barbecue place by our spot. And so when my mom's like, yeah, okay, yeah, if you want to grill, I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. And like, I don't know if it's just a guy thing or it's just me, but I love to grill. It's such a zen thing for me. I don't know if it's just like the sizzling of the meat. I don't know. It's just I don't know if someone can explain it to me. The whole science of grilling and how enjoyable it is. It's just it's fucking heaven for me. I can literally sit by a grill, just have a game on, or even listen to music and just zone out and just zone. Like, yeah, it's just a peaceful thing. And especially being outside, because normally you're not grilling inside unless you have like an outdoor kitchen, but you're still outdoor, even though you have like a roof or pergola above you. But yeah, it was nice to do that, to be like, all right, cool. I'm like be in my zone of just grilling. And it was so cool. We bought like a tomahawk, so it was my first time cooking a tomahawk, and learning how to, cook that on a grill and then finish it in the oven. It was just like so many things, and learn, that pressure, that like big pressure to like, okay, you gotta cook this right because you're feeding your family. Like it was just like maybe it was just that being dependable, the feeling of being dependable in a family vacation. I don't know. It's just like it felt great. It felt great when people were like, "Yeah, this was good," or even the criticism too. Like I was really critical about like the seasoning. I was like, "Yeah, it's a little bit salty," but I think with this, with that, it makes it up. It's just like I don't know. It was just like it. It felt the way that I do sometimes when it comes to music. When I'm showing off my music, it's like, yeah, this is great. But you mean I can add a little bit of this? Like, I think that's why I love the two. Or grilling or cooking is like comparable. It's creating something that people enjoy. And music and cooking, I think they both go together so well. Because of that, creating music and people enjoying it and seeing, their expression when they first hear the vocals or the chorus or anything about the song. Same thing with, food. When someone first takes the bite in their face and the reaction. And it could be the negative way too. Someone's like, listen to a song, they're just like, oh fuck, what the fuck is this shit? Same thing when they eat it, when they smell the food, they're like, oh my god, it smells like shit. I don't want to. I think that's why the two are just so great together. It's just like, cooking with music on. You're feeling it. You're in the rhythm of, each dish. And it was nice because Kareen was, when we were cooking that night, I think the last night, I was cooking the tomahawk. She was cooking the scallops. So we were kind of like communicating back and forth. Like, hey, I'm about like 10 minutes out to be done with this dish. How far are you? And then like she back and forth. Like, hey, I'm creating a salad. What time are you going to be done with the tomahawk? I'm like, I was looking like 30 minutes. And it was just like, it was so cool because we were somewhat in the flow. We watch a lot of like Gordon Ramsay, Iron Chef. So being able to do that together and, our guest, our family, it was such a beautiful experience. And yeah, it was cool. I really loved that. That was probably one of my favorite nights of just being able to display and, have our family and, have an experience and enjoy the food, and we being able to enjoy it with them as well. I think that's such a great experience by far. And I think that's what took me back from this vacation, just having such an amazing experience with your loved ones, and it's just like you have to say goodbye at the end of the trip, and it's just like, oh man, it's just like, wow, can we just have one more day, one more week? So yeah, it just motivates me more to be like, okay, I gotta work harder this year. I gotta. So next year we can do the same thing, and maybe a different location, and it's just like, or just enjoy the most. Put the bullshit aside, or fix the bullshit that you have between your families, and because it's worth it. Honestly, it's worth that quality time with your family members or with other people, because you can enjoy yourself, right? You can go on hikes by yourself and enjoy, love and care by yourself, treat yourself with love. But when you're able to give that love to someone that is not asking for it, it's, and they receive it and they appreciate it, it's just like, it's a whole nother experience. I think, yeah, like this year is, my goal is to do one of those like turkey, like what do you call it? Like it's like feeding the poor, but like for Thanksgiving, always wanted to do it, just because my grandfather did it. He would cook like so many turkeys in his like fire pit, and he would he would send it and give it away, and I thought that was great. I thought that was just remarkable that his heart was there for other people, and he knows that, like, he struggled too, struggled growing up, and so for him to give it back to people that were in the same situation he was, I think it was so beautiful. So to me, that's like my goal. I have like 12 goals that I want to hit this year. And I got most of them done, but one of them is that. And so just because, I don't know, I think it's just a beautiful experience to have. And yeah, I would love to do that. That's by far one of the top goals, I think, of this year. But man, it was just, man, I just can't stop talking about having experiences other than like music related. I think that can influence you when you are making music. I feel like sometimes when people are in funks or they feel like they're creating the same thing over and over again, I think mostly it's because they're surrounded by the same things around them, rather than really kind of changing your environment, doing, activities like, going out of town or anything, getting out of your element, maybe trying a new restaurant. That's an experience. Different tastes. Because I feel like sometimes when you're too familiar, or it's like a familiar setting, you're less to create risk. And I think it's fine if you're happy with that. If you're just like, hey, this is what I love doing. This is what makes me comfortable, and it brings me zen in my life, and I love it. I love that feeling of it, and so I think that's the major goal, is getting to that point of like, this is enough for me. I don't need more. I don't need that. I don't need that extra satisfaction. I could just be. I just could be content to where I'm at, what position I am, and unfortunately, I'm just not at that position. I want more for myself. Just because I want to push myself. I kind of want to see the limit that I get to, because I feel like I could do more, especially with music. I feel like I just barely touched the tip of the pen, and I could see more with other people, and being able to experience that together. I think it's just so magical, seeing two people maxing their efforts and creating something so beautiful that you look back and you're like, man, never we fucking just were in the studio and we're just going through every fucking track, and this particular one we just made it in like 15 seconds. Well, not 50 seconds, but like 15 minutes. And you're like, yeah. Like, it's so cool to hear those stories, especially from like, breakdown videos of, like song breakdowns from artists that are just like, yeah, we wrote this song within 15 minutes. I was just jamming, and I felt like I was just trying to imitate something else, and this came up, and it's just like, it's nuts. It's nuts just to see the mindset of how people get inspiration. And sometimes it's just the little things that you see, you hear, you smell. And I kind of wish I did. I kind of wish I I did open my laptop when I was over there in Tahoe just to see what inspiration did I get from there. Hey guys, ever wonder where I record my videos or podcasts? Most of the time, it's at Design Sound Studio. It's about 3,000 square feet with a full lighting rig. No need to spend thousands of dollars for lighting rentals. We got it all set up for you guys. And we even have 2 flex rooms that could be used as makeup rooms, dressing rooms, or even a production office. I'm telling you guys, it's a perfect spot if you guys want something private without being interrupted by a noisy drummer next door. Our space is just gonna make your production rehearsals run so smoothly. And the best part is we're open 24 hours, 7 days a week. So if you're ready to book your session, head over to designsoundstudio.com and get a quote from us today. You know, what would I would create if I was around the, you know, all the trees and even that cold weather or the smell of the coffee in the morning? What would have inspired me to create? And I might have created something like more dramatic. I might have created something a little bit more of like a ballad. I don't know. I felt emotional for at least the surroundings, because it's just like seeing my family, everybody together for the very first time in years. I think the last time we were all together was in 2020. And so that was just like, it was such a abundance of feeling, because it was like, oh my God, everybody's around each other, we're enjoying ourselves. No one's, there's no pressure with one another to do stuff. We'll all do our separate things. Someone will be together, some of us will be alone. There just wasn't that pressure. And for me, something like that, if someone's like told me straight, like, what would you make out of a song like that? I think I would have made a ballad. I would have made something with a little bit of, grand piano with maybe some strings behind it and a subtle bass below, like a digital bass, and maybe no drums, because I felt like the drums would have just made it a little bit more of like an impact, or not a good impact, like almost too aggressive, where it wasn't aggressive. It was just more of like a loving thing to be with another, like a loving, emotional loving thing. And yeah, I think that's what I would have created. I would have created something like that out of that experience, at least afterwards, just because, this is how I currently feel. Maybe during that time, I might have created something different, especially during different days, during the, if whether it was in daytime or nighttime, midday, who's surrounded by me. That's why it's just like being an artist is just such a wild experience when it comes to the workings of the brain of like, if you describe, like, let's do like a little test right here. So what would you create if someone was walking in Times Square with a sweater on, a book bag, and they have a little chihuahua? Like, that's all you get. Some people would imagine, oh, is it congested? Is there a lot of traffic? Is it nighttime? Is it daytime? Like, see, like the workings of the brain, and it's just like, it gets you so many different imaginations. And so I think that, to me, that's fascinating. That is fascinating because of the workings of the brain, of how it pivots you to so many different things, different options. And yeah, it's just like those like competitions of like remixing. I love to kind of hear everybody's inspiration or like their final version, just because it's like, oh, some might be similar, some might make the same genre, but it's not entirely the same. They're using different elements, and I think those are the coolest things to see. Is like, okay, this is what I made, but oh, this person made it a little bit more of a reggae sound. This person made it more of electronic. Oh, they didn't even use drums. They use acoustic drums, not digital drums, and so that thing is just like, it's the coolest thing to experience. And yeah, I don't know. It was just stuff like that, the workings of the brain. And yeah, I feel like this vacation was that. It was just like, I could shut that off at moments. I didn't need to put so much thought into a lot of things. And because lately, just, with work and creating content, you're just always like, okay, I need to do this. Once I'm at this point right here, and just being on that vacation, I didn't need to put that effort. I can just relax, watch the ball game with my mom, hang out downstairs, watch some TV, walk the dog, go down by the lake, have a nice walk, enjoy some dinner, barbecue, just like that. It was just nice to be able to shut off at moments where I didn't need to put much effort into strategizing. And so, yeah, I think that's, if you guys can take that break for yourself, I think it's great. I think I'll warn you, getting back might be tough, just because depending on the length of the vacation and the experience, it might take you some time to get back. For me, it did take me some time. I literally, took up almost like a week off after the vacation just to be back in front of you guys on the camera and being able to discuss that. So do it, but also with caution that you might fall back. And I think that's fine, as long as you get back. That's the most important thing ever. So, once again, I want to say thank you guys so much for sticking around and listening to me just ramble about my vacation. You're probably like, you motherfucker, you were working, you're on vacation. Yeah, it was nice. It was a great vacation. So I recommend you guys do that. Enjoy it as much as you can, just because you never know when you'll ever get a chance to do it again, especially your loved ones. So once again, appreciate so much for checking out the podcast and checking out my content as well. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, and also sign up for the Suga Crave Club. We got templates, a lot of like unedited videos of the Suga Crave Show, and sample packs as well. They're up there, so be sure to subscribe to that. And then, but yeah, guys, appreciate the love, and hopefully I'll see you guys on the next one.